How's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to walk you through the new mechanics in Cavern Shuffle Lair of the Lich, and afterwards we're going to do a playthrough. First and foremost, the boss encounter for this adventure will be the Lich King. It'll have a difficulty of 30, and similar to the Minotaur, every time you transfer a card up into the party pile, it will move one space to the right. It's going to continue to do that, blocking every space until you reach the seventh pile, which to it will flip and have a different art and also an additional ability. So when it is revealed, you place a skeleton in the largest sequence from the left. When you start the game, you'll start with a starting enemy skeleton. Every enemy in this encounter will be a skeleton, but there will be a two-sided skeleton, as you can see here, that will be set off to the side out of play, and you kind of bring it in as, the Lich will summon them. The difficulty of each skeleton will improve by 5 for each skeleton or enemy you've completed before this. So similar to how obstacles work in Maze of the Minotaur, this time it will be stapled onto enemies, specifically skeletons, and each skeleton will have their own cool fun art that Bodhi's done. The Lich King as well will continue back in its direction with its passive ability at the bottom there. Next, we'll talk about the Jar of Souls. So similar to the Short Rest, the Jar of Souls will be your starting item, and it will come with 2 abilities. So the first being just like Short Rest, so you can collect and shuffle the discard and explore pile together, and then when you do that, you'll flip. But before I get to that, it will have a passive ability that will be denoted by this little symbol here. So the difficulty of the boss enemy costs 2 less for each enemy defeated. So as you are collecting these souls, you're placing them up with the Jar of Souls. We'll get to it, but when you collect too many souls, you can flip this summoning soul to reflect 2 skeletons in the jar. That way, you can pull out another skeleton and use that as the summoned skeleton. I really wanted to keep to the 54 card foundation, so this is kind of my clever way in showcasing collecting skeletons. And so when you opt to use the Jar of Souls, it will flip. When it flips, so it'll have a when revealed. So when revealed, remove all the defeated enemies and refresh one single use item. So not only are you shuffling the discard and explore pile, you are refreshing one of the items that you've collected. So it entices players to use their items and have the ability to use them again. So as you collect skeletons, you'll place them up there, but when you flip this, you will remove the skeletons out of play. So you're no longer collecting those skeletons, or the collection of skeletons don't affect the passive ability. So instead of reducing it by 2, it now reduces the bossing enemy by 1. So it's kind of this push and pull of, enticing players to reset their dungeon, get items back, but also lose kind of the progress that you've already created in that kind of the first half of the game. So it'll still reduce the Lich's power, but instead of by 2, it's now by 1. Obstacles this time around have a fixed number, and so obstacles will look at the alignment of the adventurers. So Bramble, for instance, needs a lawful character that needs to be equal to or greater than 3. So our lawful characters are our light suited cards, so our druid and our sentry. And then we have a chaotic obstacle, which also has a difficulty of 3. So the individual level of that character needs to be 3. And you see that within your wizard or your tinkerer. And finally, the third obstacle is the gauntlet. And so this one can be any alignment, so any class, so your sentry, your druid, your tinkerer, or your wizard, and you just need that character's individual level to be 6. And so that's kind of the gist of the game. We can get into kind of the nitty-gritty as we see it, but yeah, let's jump right in. All right, so you can see that setup works exactly the same as Maze of the Minotaur. So you have, 1 card in the first pile, 7 cards in the 7th pile. You have your starting item, which is our Jar of Souls with its There's a little arrow here that says it's the face up side. Same with the Lich. We'll start in the first pile. And so looking at the board here, we can kind of see that we have a level 1 adventurer where we can move stuff to the top. We have our first enemy, which we've completed no other enemies. So it's difficulty with 5. Also noting that you have your token skeleton off to the side here, just until we need it. There's a few options we can do here, but I always like moving through the explore pile first. So it's going to work exactly the same as Solitaire. So you're going to flip up 3 at a time and go from there. So let's see what we get. 1, 2, 3, 9. This 9 can go on this 10. This 5 can go on this 6. You have a light border card, dark border card, light border, dark border, etc. 4. Nope. We found our first item. So Potion of Speed. So this one is a new ability where for one cycle of the explore pile, you flip through 2 cards instead of 3. So this is often you want to declare the use of this item when you've reset the explore pile, but so that every time you flip up, you're flipping up 2 instead of 3, just a new way to manipulate the explore pile. We can probably pull that aside. So we're going to put that up. 1, 2, 3, 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Bunch of 8s. 4. 4. So this dark colored can go on this light colored adventurer. Unveiling this tinkerer. So we're going to move this up to the top. This will move the lich over. It will also leave us an empty space here. So cards like this 10 here can move into that space. 10s are kind of like kings. And so this 10 could also move there, but I don't think we want to move anything quite yet. Let's just do one more couple last looks. So we reached the end here. Didn't really get as much as we wanted. So we're going to flip it over and we're going to start again. So say we wanted to use the Potion of Speed, this would be the opportunity to declare it. So if we wanted to look at 2 cards instead of 3, that could be done. But we're not going to do that quite yet because I think we can start moving things around here pretty confidently. So we're going to move this across. It's an 8. This 5 can go on this 6. Oh, geez. Okay. And then we can probably confidently move this up. Now, oh, geez. We have uncovered the gauntlet. Probably something you don't want to see in that 7th pile, but any adventurer with equal to or greater level can complete this obstacle. So we'll need a 6. It's a bit of a tough thing to see in the 7th pile, but we'll see if we can get through it. 9, we could probably move that pretty confidently. You know what? Yeah, let's do it. Don't need that 6, but we'll get that 7 when it comes back around. So can't use the 4. Probably use this 8. Okay. Seven can go on this 8. This 6 we could probably use. 2, okay. We needed these, but I don't want to move it up yet because I think there's a 7 waiting for me. That's not the 7 I was talking about. Is this 7? No. I think I might move this 10 just because I think I want to move this 8 instead of moving this 10 here. I think that's the way. 7. Hopefully that 9 comes back around. 4. 10. 3. Okay, so we could probably move this one up and hope there's something good here. Okay, so another obstacle. Yeesh. But luckily, we're almost there. We find a druid level 3. Okay, so we move on. We press on here. I might not move anything because if you don't move anything, nothing ever changes. So we're going to know that that 5's there, and we're going to continue on here at 9. Okay, so if we move one card, this 9 will be able to move here, so we can move that there. So we're going to 3 would be nice. 10, 3. Okay, so we're going to try this one more time. Move this 5 onto this 6. And then we can flip up 3 more. One more time. And we've seen a lot of this stuff. Doesn't really change. So we're just hoping that this 8 I've been speculating on is the card for us. And, oh, well, that's the 3. That's going to block this, though. But that's okay. We can go 3 and across. Looks like we're getting the druid all the way to 6 to get this obstacle. So we've come across a item. This one is the Dagger of Desire. It works exactly like the treasure. So you can place this on top of a card and it will indicate the next level. But this one is cursed. So the original card, say it is in this here somewhere, it cannot leave play. So you're kind of stuck with it until the end of the game. Typically in Maze of the Minotaur, if you don't need it anymore, you move it off to the side. But if we come across it, then it cannot leave play. So it's a bit of a last-ditch effort if we really need to use it. But we're going to put that up into our inventory, and we're going to move on. Look at that. So this is another item. It is the Bracers of Banish. It is kind of a new concept I'm playing with, and so it reads move 1 non-boss enemy encounter to either the bottom of a discard pile or the bottom of a dungeon pile. So we're gonna move that up. So what that means is that, oh, look at that, that's great. So what the Bracers of Banish means is if I wanted to move this skeleton, I would place it underneath and then flip up a new card if I used it in that situation. If I used it, say it was in the discard pile and it was blocking something, you move it all the way to the bottom here. And that would subsequently change the order of the cards in the explore pile. So kind of a bit of a versatility, especially when there are just so many skeletons everywhere. We haven't seen as many as I'm saying, but there are skeletons and they're here. So we can move this wizard up. Move that over. Can move it one more time, and then we can move this 10 down. Hey, things are looking better than everybody thought it probably look. Oh, actually, the first thing we can do before we move out, we have a level 3 lawful adventurer, so we're going to move this off to the side. It just simply set it out of play, and we don't have to look at it again. 7, this 4 works. We do have 5, so if we wanted to get rid of this skeleton, we could, but we're going to see in a second that it's probably not. We probably need to save our first defeat for what happens next. So we're going to move this 4 up for the sake of the exercise, and it's going to flip over. The Lich King is going to flip up, and when it reveals, that handy dandy skeleton you had within arm's reach is going to go in the largest pile. So this pile over here is now blocked until we can defeat the skeleton. Remember, we haven't defeated any other skeletons before it, so its difficulty is only 5. So we have actually 6 here, so 1 plus 4 plus 1, 6. So we can defeat it, we can defeat this one. It's kind of up to us, but I just noticed this one, so we're going to move this 6 onto that 7, 9. Am I crazy for not wanting to move that 10 yet? Probably. Because there's a 10 here. No, yeah, there. Not as good as I thought it was. 4. No. All right. I think it's time to move that. Oh, no, I'm using this 10. This 10 comes over. 9. Hey, look at that. That's pretty good. I think there's an 8 I want to move first. Not that 8. It's the one that's here. Okay. Okay, so I think we should use the potion of speed because I think I want that 8 to move this 7 to move this 10. Um, it's a bit backwards, but I think I don't really want this Lich covering stuff yet. I also just noticed this is the 5 we need. That we get a 6. We could. Okay, so I'm going to stick to that plan. So we're going to use the potion of speed. When you use it, just set it off to the side. And we're going to flip up 2 instead of 3. So 2, don't need it. Don't need it. Oh no, it's not going to be the one I wanted. Okay, so we didn't quite get what we wanted with the 8 here, which is probably something we probably need pretty badly. 3. Okay, we could also shuffle this. We haven't collected any souls yet or skeletons yet, so it doesn't really matter. We can refresh our potion of speed. We could also refresh one of these other item, or well, the bracers, if we can use it, because that is technically a single-use item. This one is not. I've switched them over to cursed. We could also check what is under here, so we move that to the bottom. We can also move this to the bottom. Let's shuffle. So we're going to shuffle this. So we're going to flip it over. We're going to release the souls that we have. We're going to shuffle this, and we're going to refresh an item. So let's do that real quick. Fortunately, we didn't have any souls, but now we can start collecting them once again. We really need that 8. That's what we really need. One, 2, 3, 6. We also can use the Dagger of Desire to go 5 and then 6 on there to get the gauntlet. But we're going to be stuck with that 5. 8. We are always stuck with these 8s. I don't think using the potion is going to help us. We could also banish this skeleton to the bottom and change the order, which might help us, but feels like a lot of resources. Okay. Because if we put this, can't put it anywhere. We can use this item here to move this there, to move this here. And that will then move the 8 across. Seems crazy. Seems crazy. Essentially just locks us out of these 2 numbers, which isn't terrible. Okay, let's do it. So we're going to use the Dagger of Desire. We're going to put it over here. So it's going to now that will be a 5. This will be a 6. Now, because we have a level 6 druid, turn them up for you, we can now complete the gauntlet. So we're going to put this off to the side. We never have to worry it again and hope this isn't a skeleton. Okay, it's 2. 2 is good. Do you want to do that yet? Yes. 2 over. And our final item is a mighty illusion. So place this in a dungeon to begin or continue a sequence. So if we needed a 10 or a sequence starting, we can start with the mighty illusion. So we're going to put that up to the top here and find a 2. Okay, before we do that 2, we should probably do this one. 1, nope, 1 over 2 over. Nope, don't know if we want that because it's going to shift all the 8s. It's actually we need to do 2. I looked ahead. So we got to put that up and over. It's going to flip. Lich is now hanging out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. We're missing a 2. 2 could be here, 2 could be there, 2 could be there. Options. But this 8 is the one that's bothering me. So we will make sure. Oh, I've been chasing this 2. It's actually wrong. Got it. That didn't work to plan, but we're going to move this 4. Move this 4 over. Looking for a 2 now. Move this 5. Okay, we've come across the chaotic obstacle. We do have a level 3 chaotic adventurer, so we can just complete this, which will give us this space. And we can flip 3 more. We need some 2s. How do we get there? Somehow. This is the 7 we were looking for. This 6 can go on this 7. And there's the 2. Should be pretty cruising now. So we can get rid of this 2, or move the 2 up. We're at 13, so we can complete 2 skeletons. I think first things first, probably makes sense to open this up. So we're going to move this up there. And then go 4 over 5 over 3. What's nice about our current board state is that no sequence is too long. And probably doesn't make sense to make that one any longer. Because we can go 3. And then we can, before we flip up another one, we could probably just kill this skeleton. Yeah, we could kill this skeleton. See what's underneath. Flip up, and it's another skeleton. Which, this is going to be a perfect example for this second side of my token skeleton card. So we can probably just place this here, flip up 3 more, and go 4. And so when you flip this over, you will summon a new skeleton. The game currently only comes with one skeleton. I haven't decided if I want to give an extra one, but um, the the skeleton, the token skeleton has a second side, which will represent two skeletons in the Jar of Souls. So we can flip that over and remove this skeleton that we have here, and this can become our summoned skeleton. Um, this 5 can't leave play, so we're kind of stuck with that, but I think that's okay. I think if we kill enough skeletons, we can probably get there. So, and everything kind of like meshes nicely here. So we're at 2 skeletons. So the next one's 15. We do have 15, so might as well just get rid of it while we can. We need to get to 20 now. So 19. That's pretty funny. Did we just mess ourselves up? I actually think we can use the Bracers of Banish. So we're going to use Bracers of Banish to move one non-boss enemy to the bottom of a discard pile. So place that off to the side. We're going to move this skeleton to the bottom and use this 4. 5, 6, 6. All right, let's do a quick check. So, or we can check next one. Let's check next one. Go over. And so the Lich's power is 30, but we have 3 skeletons in the Jar of Souls. So it's going to be a 27. And so quick maths, so we're at 12, 19, 24. So we got to keep going. 7, 8. We could probably do this in style. And so we've only killed 3 skeletons this game. So this one is going to be a 20. And this one would be a 25, which we are currently at 26. So we've now completed 5 skeletons, making the Lich's power 25. And so that will defeat them and win us the game. I hope you enjoyed. That was a fun one. Sneaky. Thanks.